Aloha and welcome to the Best Comebacks Awards. Tonight your hosts will be myself, Alanna, Nikki-Marie, Olivia, and Joshua. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We've all heard the expression. But where does it come from? William Edward Hickson's teacher manual in The Child of the New Forest incorporated it into a song saying that if at first you don't succeed, try again. Of course, throughout time it's developed, whether it's been the legendary Robert the Bruce being stuck in a cave and watching a spider fail to form his spider web, but he doesn't stop trying. He keeps trying until he eventually succeeds. Or with Thomas Edison, more well known, his invention of the light bulb. It took him 1,000 times to not be able to make a light bulb work, but he was finally able to do it. And he always said, although it only took one try to make the light bulb work, he found out 1,000 ways to make a light bulb not work. It has expanded now to modern times with graduation and motivational speeches, whether it's high school or college, saying that if you don't succeed at first, then keep going until you can finally do it. Tonight we are honoring those people.
Hi guys, my name is Olivia, and we're going over the process of how our group really worked. And our group worked as a democracy. One of my favorite quotes about democracy is by Roosevelt Franklin, and he said, "Let us never forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us." And then he touches base on how the ultimate rulers of our democracy are not the president and the senators and the congressmen and the officials, but the voters of the country. And so that ties into how we work together as a group, because we did a lot of voting and we did original ideas and then trimmed the categories and the nominees down in order to get the best voted on and the most popular by the decision of our groups. So we worked as a democracy, and going through the process, we all came up with different original ideas for the categories. And it was everything from best comeback to most well-known. And after that, we all went back and forth and replied all through email and through text in order to vote for our favorite category. When we decided on the best category, everybody got their original ideas for different nominees that worked for that category. And not just stating a name, but really why that person applied to the category that we chose as a group. After originating different nominees, we also voted on those top nominees. And because a lot of people actually had pretty similar ideas, it was good to narrow down a focus group of the top nominees. After that, we decided how to separate the work by first come, first serve. So a reply all email on just who was most comfortable with which portion of work. And that really worked, because if you had a strength in introductions or even conclusions, it all came together in applying our strengths and weaknesses for each other and working as a group. As we worked as a group, it was always about open communication. So having a group text, having a group email, and making sure that even from day one we had a lot of deadlines and a lot of dates to hit in order to keep our project up and going. So without spoiling any of our nominees, the best category that we did choose was Best Comeback. And that's going to be covered next. Thanks, guys.
The Best Comeback Award is really important because it shows that if you keep on working towards your dreams, they'll eventually become a reality. So the 5 nominees for the Best Comeback Award goes as follows. The first one is Walt Disney. Walt Disney was born December 5th, 1901. Walt started his own studio when he was in his early 20s, and in 1923 the studio was forced to close due to being in debt. Him and his co-workers then traveled to Hollywood, California, where they were working under a company and started to produce 3 silent films, including the most famous one, which was Steamboat Willie. After that, the boss tried to take over their rights and won for the 3 films, and so him and his co-workers had to quickly come up with films and with characters and something to help keep them stay afloat and not go into debt. And so that's when they became with Mickey Mouse. And Disney, Walt Disney, is actually the voice of Mickey Mouse. Then they kept on going from there and kept on building, and then another setback happened in 1941 when many of his drawers and animators went onto a strike, and many of them actually resigned. He didn't stop there. He didn't stop at that setback. He kept on going and eventually become one of the most famous people in America with his theme parks all over the country and different movies and characters, and he never stopped and kept on going. The second nominee is Bill Gates. Bill Gates was born October 28, 1955. He graduated in high school in 1973, and he attended Harvard University in the fall, where he was pursuing a career in law like his father, but he dropped out of Harvard, kind of his first setback. While working for a company, after he dropped out of Harvard, Gates and his partner had to sue to retain the software rights they developed. The company boss, or CEO, was trying to steal the rights from underneath them, and so he had to sue his own boss. That was his second setback. He obviously didn't stop there, and now is one of the most richest men in the world, has been in Forbes' top 100 wealthiest men for many, many years, and continues to dominate the computer side of the world through Microsoft Word and PowerPoints and Excel, and just completely changed the way businesses run and the way school and students perform in the classroom. The third nominee is Michael Jordan. He's one of the most famous basketball players of all time. He was born in 1963, and his most known setback is that he actually was rejected from his sophomore year high school basketball team. That didn't stop him. He had one person tell him, the coach, tell him that he wasn't good enough to play, and that just made him fight even more to become a better player, and he became one of the best players in the world. He won a gold medal with his team for the United States in the Summer Olympics of 1984. He's played many, many years professionally and is one of the most decorated basketball players of all time. The fourth nominee is Steve Jobs, another person that's in the technological world. He was born February 24th, 1955. He was placed for adoption by his biological parents, which some could see as a setback, being given up by his biological parents, but he looked at it as a good opportunity. He attended 6 months of Reed College before dropping out, and then for the past 18 months just kind of took a class here and there, never really sticking, never really finding a passion, and never earned his college degree. He did find a passion in one of those classes, which was for computers, and that's when he started working with technology. Apple executives believed that Steve Jobs was actually hurting the company and kind of weaved him out of the company as much as possible. What they actually didn't know was he was helping the company, and they decided to bring him back in 1997, and from there, Apple has just completely taken off and become one of the most known brands here in the world. So he didn't let his executives kick him out of the company and just be, oh, okay, no, I'm done. No, he continued to come back, and he is the face of the Apple company. The last one is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson is a famous baseball player for the Dodgers. He was born January 31st, 1919. He was raised in poverty by a single mother. He had the opportunity to go to UCLA and was a few classes shy of graduating before he had to leave due to financial hardship. Robinson was also arrested in 1944 for refusing to give up on his sheet. Jackie Robinson had to deal with so much hatred for the color of his skin, but he never allowed that to end his baseball career. He continued to just say, I'm here to play baseball, and I am as talented and as deserving to be on this team as any other white kid on the Dodgers and on the Montreal Royals. And so he continued to persevere and continued to work hard, and he became the first black athlete to play Major League Baseball, and he became one of the highest paid athletes in Dodgers history. So 5 great nominees, but we can only have one winner, and that winner is Walt Disney. He had many setbacks, and he kept on going and kept on going, and he is very well known now and has a huge empire underneath him and his family.
Mahalo, Nikki, for that awesome award ceremony. In conclusion, I would like to talk about how our group came together to complete this award ceremony presentation, some obstacles that we had to overcome, and some things that we can improve on for future virtual group presentations. So in order to come up with this presentation, we communicated through email where we came up with our award for the ceremony, which was the best comeback. After that, we came up with a couple of nominees and concluded that Walt Disney had the best comeback. Some obstacles that we had to overcome was that since this group was an online virtual group and we weren't able to meet up in person, we only had the communication through email and Google Docs to complete this presentation, which made it a little difficult because some of us were on different time zones and have conflicting schedules, which may be from work or family. To overcome this, we set aside time to check our emails and complete this and add to the Google presentation. And also, we periodically reminded each other what had to be done in a timely manner in order to finish on time. Some things that we can improve on for future virtual group presentations are that from the beginning we can have better communication, set better goals so we can achieve them in an efficient manner. It'll be a little bit more organized, and we should also get a better head start to what we are going to do. This concludes the 2016 award for the best comeback.